8th victory of the year for the Texans. That is more than the combined total of the last 2 years, 2021 and 2022. Overtime win, 19-16 over the Tennessee Titans today. Devin Singletary, a huge story in this game. 26 carries, 121 yards. Pierce only had 1 carry in this one, as Singletary gets his second most yards in his career, second most carries as well with the 26, and Noah Brown career high in catches, not yards, but 8 for 82 and a touchdown. And Derrick Henry, this might be the biggest story of the day of all. Dre, it's his lowest rushing total period since 2017, as he's held to 9 yards on 16 carries. The Texans defense swarmed, and they also got a good pass rush going. So
I tell you what, I'll get to that here in a second. I want to make one point. We will celebrate Kaimi Fairbairn, Case Keenum, you throw him in there, Noah Brown, but the defense as a whole deserves all the praise in this one. You talk about stepping up late in the game, especially in overtime, to the point of 7 sacks. Our HEB sack report, the Texans defense had 7. That's right. You're hearing it right. 7 sacks in today's game. Jonathan Greenard with 2.5. Malik Collins with a sack and a half. Derek Barnett had 1. Khalil Davis had 1. Desmond King had 1. That equals 7 as part of Sacks for Hunger. HEB will donate $1,000 to the Houston Food Bank every time the Texans sack the quarterback. The HEB Sack Attack brought to you by HEB, the official tailgate headquarters of the Houston Texans.
I don't know who you give game balls to. Check out Greenard, 2.5 sacks. That's his 4th game with at least 2 sacks this season. Only J.J. Watt and Mario Williams have done that in a single season in the history of the franchise.
I'm going the entire defense is going to get a game ball, and Kaimi Fairbairn will get the other one.
Yep, and Case Keenum, how about him?
Yes.
The old man, not that old, 35, 23 of 36, 229 yards, a touchdown, the pick 6. Dre, your point about the defense, they held the Titans to a touchdown on the opening drive. That's it. There was a pick 6 for the other points, and they had to overcome it all game long, and it took a while for the offense to heat up. Was that partly because, hey, Keenum hasn't played in a while, they haven't played with Keenum, and you don't have a lot of playmakers out there?
You don't have weapons. So Nico Collins, not in this one. Tank Dell, not in this one. And then you got guys that are playing hurt. Nobody's at 100%. You got your right tackle, George Fant, who's out of the game. Laramie Tunsil left for an extended period of time at one point in this game. So mixing, matching, masking tape, Elmer's glue, whatever it was that you needed, they had to have it, and it took every second of not only regulation but every second of overtime to get it done, but they got it done.
19-16 in overtime. The Texans come away with the win. Love you, Deep Steel Blue. Getting it done today on the road. Undermanned, ultra-inspired, and victorious. Our Reliant Power Player of the Game. Proud to be the official energy provider of the Houston Texans. Reliant. Well, Johnny Harris standing by with JG, 2.5 sacks on the day. Gentlemen.
Oh, man, this victorious locker room, and I used the word victorious. I wasn't totally sure. Jonathan Greenard, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Nobody was. Kind of at the end of the fourth quarter, it felt like both offenses kind of shut down. You guys were dominating. What was going on? You guys ended up with 7 sacks of Will Levis. What was happening today?
Fired all cylinders. I think that we just made them uncomfortable. And we knew it was going to be a longer game. Obviously, we start 22. Get to these later game situations. We just keep ourselves in the game, keep us within the scoring distance. They would come to us, and then we had to pass rush, and they had to block us. And I think that that's our specialty is pass rush, so that way we can get some work in and dominate those guys up front. So it was a good day in offense, to say the least.
I'm going to coach speak right here. You didn't get the opportunity to rush the quarterback until you stopped the run.
Yeah.
You stopped the run against Derrick Henry. I know he didn't have a lot of yards. At one point, it was 9 carries for 0 yards. What was key in stopping Henry today?
Just 11 hands to the ball. I mean, I think once we set edges and we had, somebody held him up, we made him check his feet. Guys was filling in their gaps, and we just got to the football, made it uncomfortable for him as well. So we knew that he's a huge, intricate part of their offense, and once he gets going, it kind of opens everything else up. And after that, once we stopped that run, I think we kind of became more predictable and showed that we had more passing situations, and that's when we pinned our ears back.
JG, you were down 13-0.
Yeah.
How big was that 3 before the half to kind of get you within 10? I know it wasn't a touchdown. but just that showing that the offense was in the fight as well.
Yeah, it was huge just because, that momentum. We know we was going to come back out on defense on the second half. But that was huge for us because obviously we know that the offense, they could get stuff going. It just had we had a newer quarterback at this point. Case is getting in there, getting feel for certain things, and obviously he kind of got a little bit more comfortable as it got on, and that was huge for not just him but the whole team to understand, okay, look, defense, we're going to go keep putting this fire out, keep going in and stopping them, and every time we give them opportunity, Case is going to make something happen, obviously, within this offense. And he did his part. Offense did their part today. Defense did their part. I think everybody all around the board did their parts, and it helped us win.
2 seconds left in overtime. You're on the sidelines. Emi puts his foot on the ball. What are you thinking?
I didn't even look at it, but I just knew it was money. I was looking at the crowd just because I wanted to see their faces after he made it. Super happy for Kai, man. Emi is he's one of those guys. He's been here for a bit. He's always even killed. He's always a guy who's just gonna pretty much keep everybody together and doesn't say much. But when he steps up to the plate, he's gonna make his plays, and that's why I didn't have a single worry in my mind. Loved him to death. I'm glad he done it. Happy for him to do that coming back off injury for sure.
I'm reading number for you, 12.5. What's that sound like?
It should have been 14, but it's all right, man. We got a couple more ops, got 3 more games left, man. We're trying to win the rest of these out, and I think, like I said, we're gonna have to do our part up front, move with these next 3 games moving forward to establish ourselves a good spot in the playoffs. But we know that we need that, and it's gonna take all of us, and I think that the numbers will come with that.
JG, for the city of Houston, thank you, my friend.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. Love y'all, Houston. We're on the way back.
Hey, JG, we were checking their faces, too, when they were going for the exits up here. So love the expressions when they were getting out of here.
JG now 7th in the NFL with 12.5 sacks. Fairbairn 4 for 4. Amazing return for him.
I like what he said as well. They were making Derrick Henry check his feet. That means he's not getting any acceleration towards the line of scrimmage where he can be effective. It was a chop, and at that point now you can unleash and come get him. They did a heck of a job in stopping Derrick Henry today.
Can I ask you a real layman's question right here?
You can.
Why
Absolutely.
Can't you do something like that every week? Because if it could stop Henry, I know all backs are a little different.
Yeah, it's just a little different. Some are quicker to the hole.
Yeah.
He needs the hole to be open so that he can hit it. When it's not there, he's going to check his feet and try to bounce it. When he tries to bounce it, the edge players are converging on him. It was a masterful performance today on the defensive side.
And you got to do it again in a couple of weeks on New Year's Eve.
They're going to come to our building and try to turn it around. And unfortunately, it's going to be we take care of business next week against Cleveland.
Yeah.
They're going to come in trying to play a spoiler role for sure.
Absolutely, because the Titans have lost their 9th game of the year. They have clinched a losing season, and that is bad news for Mike Vrabel, who was part of that coaching class of 2018. He's the only coach that was hired in that class who's still with his team. In fact, the other guys, you have some of those squads that are on the 3rd coach since then. It's gotten so bad, like the Raiders, for instance.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will talk about the Cleveland Browns, who won today. That's next week's opponent, and it's a tall order. What a beautiful trip to Nashville for the Houston Texans to ruin Oiler Day. Don't want to ruin Billy White Shoes Johnson's day because he's awesome, and I really felt like, editorial comment coming down in 3-2-1, that they could have honored him when Atlanta was here, considering he played 6 years for the Falcons, and they were in this building earlier, but it is what it is. Texans victorious 19-16 in overtime at the buzzer of OT. Fairbairn hitting an overtime buzzer winner for the 2nd time in his career. Did it against the Colts in 2018. A week later, did it late in OT against the Dallas Cowboys. And he does it here, and his return goes 4 for 4. But now Cleveland comes calling. Prime Sports Tale of the Tape, primesport.com for your VIP experience needs. Well, Dre, the Cleveland Browns, they have a 9-5 record following a 20-17 come-from-behind win over the Chicago Bears today. Joe Flacco, big yardage total, 374 through the air, 2 TDs, but 3 interceptions along the way. 100-yard receivers, Amari Cooper, David Njoku. They have a lot of weapons here, Dre, and this is a team that finds ways to win. Might be ugly, might not be the way you script it, but Cleveland has been getting wins. They have clinched a winning season.
Yeah, and it's concerning because they're starting to find somewhat of a rhythm with Joe Flacco. And you described all the playmakers on the outside. Coop had 109, and Njoku, the tight end, had 10 catches for 104, and both had touchdown receptions. Marquise Goodwin He had a big catch for 57 yards, and Cedric Tillman had 4 for 52. So what all that means is he's starting to spread the ball around and starting to get really comfortable within that Cleveland offense. We know what they are on defense. They are a monster on the defensive side of the football. So it will be a tough chore. The good part about all of what I just described, we get them at home. And so right back to NRG Stadium, where the fans need to be nice and loud. You got an entire week after a huge win on the road to get yourself revved up for a playoff type of atmosphere once we get home and this team takes the field next Sunday.
Great way to spend the early part of Christmas Eve day. It's a noon kick.
Yeah.
You'll be home in plenty of
Some
time
good football.
for all your celebrations. You can go to church that night.
Get your
all of
shopping
it.
out of the way before Sunday so you can enjoy the game.
Absolutely. Enjoy NRG Stadium a week from today. Noon kick, Texans and the Cleveland Browns. That is going to do it from Nashville. It's another epic win for your Houston Texans in this 2023 amazing campaign. An overtime win over the former Oilers, 19-16. We want to thank everyone who worked on the broadcast today. Robert Hensley, our producer and halftime host. Aaron Raybold, our engineer. Ryan Rocket back at the studio at Network Control. Chris Santiago with the highlight work. Johnny Harris with the sideline reporting duties. Andre Ware with game analysis. And I'm Mark Vandermeer, thanking you all for listening. Once again, the final score from Nashville, Tennessee. The Houston Texans 19, the Tennessee Titans 16 in overtime. This is Texans Radio.
You've been listening to Houston Texans football. Brought to you by Reliant Energy, Houston area Ford dealers, Coshada Casino Resort, and by Red Diamond. This is Texans Radio.